Hello and welcome back to London Cycle Routes. Today I'm going to show you how to cycle from Walthamstow in northeast London to Edmonton Green, which is north of Tottenham, and we're going to do this all on protected cycle lanes and quiet streets. This is a really nice ride and it takes about 30 minutes depending on how quickly you're going, obviously. And if you want to see more safe cycle routes like this all over London, then do hit subscribe on the channel because that's what it's all about. Right, let's get going. So we're starting on Walthamstow High Street, and you want to go straight down Erskine Road, which is just next to the Nationwide Building Society. One of the nice things about cycling around Waltham Forest, which is the borough that we're in, is that the council has basically implemented low traffic neighbourhoods pretty much everywhere. So you're not going to run into too many cars down this street, and you'll see a lot of people sort of walking and cycling in the roads. If you're interested, the particular low traffic neighbourhood that we're heading off into right now is called Black Horse Village East, and this was closed off a few years ago. And you can see just here coming up now these bollards which we can pass through. It's permeable to us, permeable to people walking, but it's not permeable to cars. So yeah, it just makes things a little bit calmer for everybody. Now you saw what we just did there. We went left and then straight again, turned right and went straight onto Borwick Avenue, which is basically a continuation of this road. And again, we're still in a low traffic neighbourhood, but we're leaving it now to go to a main road. This is Forest Road. It goes across the marshes and it heads to Tottenham Hale, which is the direction we're going in. We're going west. And because it's a main road, it's not filtered for low traffic. Instead, the council has put cycle tracks on it, so these are protected tracks most of the way. You saw there was a little bit there where it's just a painted lane, but it is mostly protected, and I think most people should be able to ride on it. You can see here there's a little bit that's not protected. That bus stop could have been done a bit better. If there was a bus there, that would be quite annoying. But mostly, yeah, we're up here, kind of protected away from most traffic. You'd be happy cycling along it, whatever your ability level there. What if I had one criticism of the cycle tracks on this road, is that they are a little bit narrow in parts. So for instance here, these people are going at their own pace, that's fine. It would be better if it was a bit wider so it was easier to overtake them. But it's not really a problem, we're safe from motor traffic and that's the main thing. Now we just wait for the signals here and we're going past Black Horse Road tube station, which is on the Victoria line. And yeah, so this bit is temporary. You can see we're sort of lightly segregated from traffic here. There are these armadillo things on the right hand side of the road, and then they put these bollards or sort of barriers up, and we're onto a very, very wide segregated cycle lane here. I was quite impressed by that because I think they're building a new sort of fully protected lane there, but in the meantime they'd sort of put some extra protection out so that it wasn't annoying to go past. When I do these videos and I run into roadworks, by the way, I always dread it because I like to sort of show you what it's going to be like when you go there and how good the infrastructure can be. And if it's just if I'm just unlucky enough to hit roadworks on a particular day, then that's going to reflect badly on the video. But I mean, at the same time as well, it is also good to show you that there can be disruption of routes, and if there's not roadworks there, it might be somewhere else on a different day. So yeah, it does happen. Now we're sort of crossing the marshes here, and in a minute we're going to go right. It's actually quite important to remember where we're going to turn right, because there's a few different paths that go off. You don't want to take the path that goes alongside the river, and you don't want to take the path that goes into the nature reserve. Where you want to go is you want to get to these lights and then sort of get off your bike, become a pedestrian, and you want to go here. So this path is between Millmead Road and Pymme's Brook, which is the name of the little brook to our right, and you just want to go straight down it. And normally you would just go straight down this onto Tottenham Marshes, except when I went there was some building work, so I had to push through a hedge and go around the building work, which was a little bit annoying, but it wasn't really a big deal. And yeah, we're back on track straight away now. Now this section of the route is shared with pedestrians, so I'll issue my usual sort of warning, be courteous to people, they're allowed to enjoy the path and stuff. But yeah, it's actually a really pleasant part of the route really. We're just going on this sort of paved path through the marshes and we're going straight down here. And really, yeah, just enjoy the scenery for a while, to be honest. These are allotments on the left, by the way. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of people out cycling on it as well. So yeah, this is a designated cycle route as well as a pedestrian path, so it's not like you're doing anything wrong by riding here, but equally it's not like anyone walking down is doing anything wrong by walking here, so you know, just make sure you're nice to everybody. And we're emerging now onto Tottenham Marshes, and yeah, this is a nice sort of wide open space, and you really just want to keep going straight on up here. This is probably a good time to say that yeah, if you like this video, if you find it useful, or you just want to see more like it, some people say they find them quite mesmerising, then do subscribe to the channel, because yeah, it's all about videos of how to get between different bits of London from A to B on just protected cycle lanes and quiet streets, really, because you know, there's an increasingly decent cycle network in London. It's not finished yet, and yeah, it's patchy in parts, but it's getting better slowly. But you need to know where to go, and it's not always obvious, so this channel's to help you do that. Now, yeah, just keep going straight here, and you might want to get off your bike for these little chicanes, to be honest. They can be quite annoying, or you can sort of you know, balance through them. Now, I'd originally planned this route to rejoin the road at this point, but actually when I came and visited and looked out there, the cycle lane that was alongside it was actually closed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight down the, we're going to stay on the marshes for a bit and go straight down the path just for a little bit longer. And yeah, actually this is a really nice place to ride, so I actually think it's probably better just to stay in the marshes for a bit now anyway. But yeah, we just keep going on here, and we're going to rejoin the road in a minute. The road is called Walthamstow Way, and it's actually like a big fast road just out here on the left. And it would be a horrible road to cycle on were it not for the fact that it does actually have a pretty old and quite narrow, but nevertheless protected cycleway here. Yeah, this is a weird one. This, judging by its age, looks like it was put in by the Greater London Council, probably back in the 80s. They actually, believe it or not, did build quite a bit of cycling infrastructure then, but it wasn't of the best standard, but it was certainly better than what London saw for the next couple of decades. But then it was abolished, so they didn't actually get very much done, and they didn't build much of a coherent network. But yeah, they built things like this. So if you ever see sort of green tarmac, that tended to be done by the GLC. If it looks a bit dog-eared, it's an old thing. You can see here it's pretty overgrown. If this was ever like heavily used, it would probably be a bit of a problem, because going back there, it's a little bit too narrow to even pass another cyclist. But you know, it's good for our purposes, and to be honest, there aren't that many people cycling alongside this big road. But it has widened out a bit here. That building on our left, by the way, with the towers, is Meridian Water Railway Station. It's actually a new railway station that opened in 2019. It's served by Greater Anglia trains. It actually replaced Angel Road, which was just around the corner, as I understand it. But this area is, I think, marked for development. So, you can tell there's quite a lot of space to develop. So they sort of beefed it up and improved the service, I think, is the idea. This isn't the nicest ride ever, to be honest. I mean, we're basically next to a motorway. But it's getting us there, it's doing the job, it's pretty quick, and yeah, we're protected from motor traffic, so I mean, there's not really too much to worry about. Now, Conduit Lane is where it does start to stretch the definition of what a decent ride could be. We're sort of going up on a ramp here. It's almost like a sort of motorway ramp. It looks like I'm going to take you onto the M25 or something. Don't worry, I'm not. But be on the lookout on the right here, because there's a really sharp turn off. So yeah, just as you're going down the hill, just as the road starts to straighten out, and then it's here, and turn off to your right. Those of you who are eagle-eyed might notice that there was a cut in the video there, because I actually missed it, and it takes you onto this cycle track here. The tan-coloured path is for bikes, and then pedestrians kept separate. This actually opened literally a week ago. It's Angel Walk, it's the new Angel Walk, and it's like fantastic. It's really, really well done. I wish there was stuff like this all over London. There's a cycle crossing here, but don't expect people to actually stop. And this path is half shared with pedestrians. Pedestrians are supposed to be on the left, whereas then cycles are supposed to be on the right. But again, yeah, I mean, don't expect people to actually hold to that. Most of the pedestrians that I saw walking down here are actually walking on the cycle side. And to be honest, it's difficult to fault them, because when you're walking around, you know, you're not actually following any rules, you're just walking down the street. So yeah, you should be on the lookout for people. Just to our right, by the way, through that fence is Tottenham Park Cemetery, if that helps you get your bearings or if you find it interesting at all. When we come off this greenway in a second, we're going to emerge onto Plevna Road, which is named after a city in northern Bulgaria. There are apparently over a dozen streets named after Plevna in Britain alone, and the reason for that is because in 1877 the Russians defeated the Ottomans there, and it was supposedly a historically significant battle, which is more or less forgotten today. So we basically arrived here at Edmonton Green. You could have gone straight ahead there to the station, or you could head into the mall here, and do get off your bike, don't ride it in the mall. Here's a map of how far we've come, and yeah, thanks very much for watching that, guys. Do subscribe to the channel and like the video if you found it interesting. It'll help other people find it, and see you again next time. Thanks very much.